Welcome to In 5 Minutes. In this video, we are going to start talking about the different techniques that are used for accessing the input-output devices. There are three types of techniques which are used to access I/O devices, and they are programmed input-output control, interrupt-driven input-output control, and DMA transfer. So let's have a look at them one by one. In programmed I/O, the processor is going to initiate the data transfer with input-output based instruction. In interrupt-driven I/O, the input-output device initiates the data transfer using interrupt signal. And the DMA transfer is nothing but a high-speed data transfer between input-output devices and memory bypassing the CPU interventions. So these three types we are going to study in detail, and first we are going to focus on programmed input-output access by the processor. So let us see how does data exchange happens between I/O and processor using this access mode. First of all, processor executes a program which issues input-output command to the respective module. Then processor is going to control entire input-output operation. And these tasks include reading the status of the device, then sending the command word to the device, as well as transferring the data between main memory and the input-output device. Now, one thing to note here is that the processor is also responsible for memory read and write operations inside a processor. The third thing is, after the command is given, the processor is going to wait till the operation is completed by the input-output devices. So these three are the features of programmed I/O access. Now we are going to look at different input-output commands that can be issued by the processor during this entire operation. The first command is control. Now, control command is used to activate a peripheral device to enable its ports, and as well as to perform certain operations regarding the data in the input-output module. So the control word is used for the controlling the different operations and activating peripherals. The test command is used for checking the status of I/O device. Before initiating the data transfer, the processor is going to check whether the device is ready to communicate or not. Now the third command that processor can issue is read command. This is normal read operation as we saw in the memory. It reads the data from the peripheral devices into the data buffer register that is present in the I/O module. And fourth is write command, which is going to transmit the data to the peripheral devices to produce the required output. So these are the four different I/O commands that can be issued by the processor. And these commands are embedded in the I/O instructions. So I/O instructions are going to contain the command word that we just saw, different command words to the peripheral device, and also the unique address that is given to the peripheral device. Now for issuing address or assigning address to the all peripheral devices is done in two different ways. These ways are memory mapped I/O and I/O mapped I/O addressing modes. In memory mapped I/O, the memory locations that are present in the memory address space of a processor and the I/O devices that are present as peripherals, they are going to share same address space. And in the I/O mapped I/O, which is also known as isolated I/O, the separate address space is given for the input-output devices than that of memory location. Now we are going to see the entire flowchart for the programmed input-output access by the processor. The first operation that is performed in this access is issuing read command to the input-output device. So basically CPU is going to issue a particular command. In this example we have said read, or any command is issued through the I/O instructions. Second step is reading the status of the input-output module. So we want to check whether input-output module is ready to communicate with the processor or not. So basically the data flow is from input output devices to the CPU. So the IO device is going to tell CPU whether it is ready or not. We are checking the status. Status is error conditions. Then the program is diverted to the error detection and troubleshooting part. The second possibility is that the input output module is error free but not ready. In this case, we are going to loop till the input output module is ready to communicate. Finally, when the status of the IO module is ready, we are going to read the word from the input output module, or we are going to perform the required operation in the IO module. Finally, writing the word into the memory. So the subsequent operation that is going to follow. So the data flow is from CPU to memory now. We are going to check whether all the operation that is issued by the IO instruction is done or not. If not, then we are going to go to the step 1 again. So in this way, the programmed IO access is performed by the processor, and every time you can see here in the second step, the processor needs to wait till the input output module is ready. So in this access method, the valuable executing time of the CPU is wasted in waiting for the input output module. In the next video, we are going to see where processor can perform different operations while input output module is executing its task, and IO module is going to notify the processor through some signal called interrupt. So in the next video, we are going to study about interrupt driven IO modules. So please stay tuned. Thank you for watching.